Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Sanji, I'm a second year medical student studying at the University of Melbourne, and I have the attention span of a goldfish. I can't even begin to count the amount of times where I actually had to get stuff done, but all I did instead was watch YouTube videos on how to be productive. So if this sounds like you as well, you're in the right place. So I've been doing some thinking over the last few weeks, and this is a bit of a foreign concept to me, but I think that I've come to a few fundamental truths as to why my brain is so small and why seemingly I'm getting worse at focusing year by year. So I'm going to break this video down into two parts. Number one is the reason why we can't focus on the task at hand anymore, and number two is how we can actually solve this problem. If you're like me, you may have realized that a few years ago you were able to focus and study for a lot longer than you can right now. And this isn't just you and me. Everyone on Earth right now is having the exact same problem. We live in an age where concentration and focus are probably some of the most important commodities to have, but somehow we're losing more and more of it every single day. So just imagine what we could do, the grades that we could get, and the places we could be going if we would just sit down and do our work. Now, the reason that we're losing our attention spans is because we are surrounded by people and organizations that know how to manipulate our brain in such a way that we stay hooked onto their content so we can make them more money. Our brains love new information. The colors, the sounds, even the difficulty levels of games and social media are all carefully algorithmically determined to make sure that we keep scrolling. The reason TikTok is popping right now is because you get a massive flood of dopamine every 10 to 20 seconds when you open a new video. We're living in a pandemic where the devices that are supposed to make our lives easier are actually destroying our attention spans. What's happening is that we're actually overstimulating our brains, and our brains are so used to this high level of stimulation that we actually go out of our way to crave distraction. YouTube, Facebook, Messenger, TikTok, these are the new addictive drugs of the 21st century. Over the past few weeks, I've been doing a bit of a social experiment on myself by tracking my phone usage, and I found that I get about 700 notifications every day, and I open my phone about 50 times each day as well, which is crazy. And there's something else that I've noticed as well. If you guys know me, I'm the type of guy who 2 times speeds everything he watches. All this time, I thought I was being more productive, but in reality, I'm just overstimulating my brain. When I watch something 2 times faster, I'm providing double the amount of content and double the amount of enjoyment to my already overstimulated brain. I wasn't really fixing the problem, I was probably making it a lot worse. So the easiest way to fix this problem is to just throw your phone away and get one of these bad boys. But since we're not going to do that, I might have to ask the unthinkable, and we might have to develop just a tiny bit of self-discipline. So tip number one is to train our mind. Just like we can train at the gym to improve our physical strength, we can also train to improve our mental strength by working it out. Now, the cool thing is that any task that you find difficult to focus on is a good exercise to train your mental strength. So this could be things like reading, writing, or even cleaning. And just like working out, increase the intensity and the length of these exercises over time. So for example, 5 minutes will become 10, and then 10 will become 20, so on and so on. Tip number 2 is to have a cleaner diet. Now, if you guys are thinking that this is starting to sound like a workout video, that's because it is. It's a workout video to get big brain. So we need to improve the diet that we give our mind. Don't just take in TikToks and social media, take in some long form content as well, like TED Talks, documentaries, podcasts, and audiobooks. My friend also told me about this analog thing that he uses called a book, and I think I might try it next week. So let's step away from things that actually destroy our attention spans and move towards a bit of a cleaner diet for our minds. Tip 3 is don't multitask. We all pride ourselves on being able to do 2 or 3 things at the same time. I used to be really proud of the fact that I would text my friends while doing lectures. But obviously, we know it doesn't work. Like deep down, I knew that I wasn't retaining any knowledge from the lecture. But for some reason, we keep doing it anyway. So something that I find helps me is an app called Forest. So I set a timer on the app, and while that timer is going, there's a tree that's growing. If you exit the Forest app, the tree dies, and I don't want the tree to die. So it's a really good way of keeping me off my phone when I really need to focus on my study. Tip 4 is to stop watching things at 2 times speed. As I said before, I'm probably overstimulating my brain when I'm watching things at 2 times speed. So what I'm going to try to do from now on is to go from 2 times speed to 1.5. I think that this will really help me remember the things that I'm watching, but also truly appreciate and enjoy the things that I'm watching for fun. Tip number 5 is to keep a distraction notepad. I don't know about you guys, but I do this a lot. So after 5 minutes of studying, all of a sudden I feel hungry or thirsty, or I have a sudden urge to clean my car. And that's completely normal. When we start doing things that have resistance, our brains naturally think of every other possibility that we could be doing at that given moment. But there's 2 things that I do to get myself out of this problem. Number 1 is to get a glass of water and go to the bathroom before every study session. And number 2 is to get a distraction notepad. It's completely natural that all of these thoughts come into our head when we're trying to focus and we're trying to study. And we often do them right away so we don't forget them. But if we just write these things down, that allows us to focus on the study at hand, and then we can batch all of these tasks at the end of our study, which is a better way to go about it. Tip number 6 is to clean your environment. Sometimes my room looks like a mess, and I know that the state of my room often reflects the state of my mind. When we're stressed, we neglect taking care of our environment when we're focusing on things like our exams. I often find that spending a bit of time to clean my desk and my room before I start a study session not only allows me to clear the clutter from my room so I can focus with no distractions, it also gives me 5 to 10 minutes where I can clear the clutter from my mind and focus solely on the task at hand. So these are some of the things that I've been doing and some of the things that I'm going to try in order to improve my focus. If you guys have any strategies to improve focus, chuck it in the comments below. But that's it. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.